Motorsports show with Randy Williamson of Bicknell Racing Products, better known as Mat Williamson's dad.
Some days.
After last year, well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right? So tell me, how's the, you guys seem to be busy as usual this winter up there.
Yeah, it's this trade show is really nice to see, and also the Northeast show that Jeremy Corkin puts on. We did our open house last weekend. We had about 350 people at the open house. We did a seminar with Chuck Schmidt from Maybach and Keith Berner from AccuForce, which was the spring package, and the spring coil spring cars have kind of taken over a little bit. And so we had some information there for the customers, which was good. Good attendance. Weather's always a factor this time of year, but it's nice to see everybody get out here.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for Bicknell, for you to come down here and see a lot of the customers that you have down in this area that you don't get a chance to. I'm sure you talk to them, but you don't get a chance to see them too much face to face.
No, you're right. We see customers down here from Georgetown, Delaware, Grandview, Diamond. I try to get out as much as I can. Usually I can try and make maybe New Egypt Speedway or Bridgeport. I haven't been to Delaware yet. I got to get over there one of these times for sure. Grandview I try to get to. Big Diamond once a year if I can. Now that Matt's racing naturally for Jeff Barrett, the number 3 car, I get down here a little bit more often with the Dale Series. I do try and get down here. The Super Dirt Series, I'm always at the big block races as much as I can possibly be without affecting the shop for sure.
So tell us, as you guys, everybody's jumping on this new 4-link technology, and you guys always at the forefront of technology at Bicknell Racing Products. How's that working out? And now the Dirt Bandit, I guess it's, sort of on the back burner a little bit.
Well, the 4-link car, we've had that around since the 90s, and they probably had it around back in the 70s, so it's like a Z-Link or different stuff that's out there available. There's people that do like the rule, there's people that don't like the rule. We can build anything we have to build to get ahead of the game necessarily. With the car we've got right now, which is a coil spring car, we're calling it our short link package. It's a pretty easy setup car. It's a very into the racetrack race car, but we give everybody a baseline setup, and most of the people that have come over on board with us follow our baseline setup and go out there and run good. And that's a good thing for me, because then that way I'm not on the phone trying to help those people out. They've got their baseline, they go from there, and then they adjust what the driver needs.
All right, let's take off the Bicknell hat and put on the dad hat. Your son last year had a year that, we all knew he was capable of doing it, but he did it last year, and got to make you proud as a dad.
Very proud. I think that did we think he could do it? You can't do it until you've done it. Okay. Is he capable of driving a race car? Yes. Is he capable of beating Matt, Shepard, Brett Hearn, Decker, and those guys? It's hard. He grew up watching all those guys, and for him to say that's very humbling when he won those races, the Eastern States, well, not the Eastern States, but the Orange County, Centennial race, Oswego, which was a very big one. That's one of the ones that he wishes he would have had one more stab at, maybe at Syracuse or something like that, as he's grown better in the sport. That's one he can't do. So he did win the Futures Racer one year, which he was hoping to eventually, maybe get to win in Syracuse, which was our big race. But getting these other tracks too, like he finally won a race at Block this year. Won at Brewerton, the big block and the small block race, which is pretty good. But he's got himself he is. Very thankful for the people he has behind him, between the Buzz Chu team, the Barrett team, the Johnny Coco, Paul Wendt team, and then his own family 6. Ray Samuel, his crew chief, and Wayne Conn with S&W Service Center. They've been very good and been behind him for a lot of years.
Yeah, I know. I talked to Matt. I guess I talked to Matt a lot over the season. I was at Syracuse or Oswego when he won. I was at Centennial when he won. Unfortunately, you missed that one.
Yes, I did. Grandchildren.
Yes, family comes first sometimes. That's right. But he is very down to earth, and he is very appreciative, and that comes across in his interviews.
Yeah, and one thing that a lot of people don't realize, actually, this is something I was mentioning this morning. Matt Shepard was one of the first ones, him and Jeff Burnell, that actually put Matt into a big block dirt modified car when we had to go to Michigan that one year. And Matt called me up and said, "Hey, what do you think about your son driving my spare big block car?" And I said to him, well, if I was you, I'd put Steve Payne in the car. And he said, I already phoned Steve, and Steve don't want to go over there. So Matt put my son in the first big block car out at Michigan. And I think he finished 6th, which was actually a pretty good run for the first time out with Matt Shepard's car. But, here's him and Matt Shepard now battling for the points championship this year. It was kind of different. And I still have the hat of, yeah, I walked over there with my son with the championship, but I lost. That's the hard part to split. And way a lot of times being at the racetrack, I'm very happy for my son, my family, and his teams. But at the same time, too, when he beats my customers, I'd like to see my customers win, too.
Yeah, it's sort of like a split victory there for you.
It is. Definitely, for sure. And, but that means you got to work harder with your customers, right?
Exactly. All right, Randy, we appreciate you taking a few minutes here to talk to us at Dirt Track Digest, and we'll be seeing you down the road for sure.
Yeah, and thanks to Dirt Track Digest for doing everything you do.
No problem.
Thank you.